public trust in the government has gone from 75 to 77 under Johnson, then all the way down to, it was down with Nixon, down with Ford, down with Carter, and then up with Reagan, down with Bush, up with Clinton, down with Bush, down with Obama, a little bit of up with Trump, and then flat with Biden. The American people don't trust.
I can't read it. What is it?
That's just a public trust in government.
I mean, what's the percentage today?
The percentage today is less than 20%. 20%.
It's even worse than I thought it was. Yeah.
It's worse today than it's ever been. You know, I mean, go under Obama. Obama's was the lowest ever where people trusted America. It hit 19% under Obama. He was 15% under Obama where people didn't trust the government. And by the way, I would be curious to know what that event is that caused it to drop to 19%. That's a 17%, 15% or 17, 15%. So, yeah, people don't trust them. So, you know, again, to me, not trusting the government. What is the government? I think people don't trust the swamp is what they don't trust. The people within the government, they don't trust. It's not what it was before. How do we get there? How do you think we got here to have this little of a trust in the government?
Well, in my opinion, when you have a series of events which, you know, I believe are kind of like the equivalent of earthquakes in the 1960s, all right, when you have, you know, at 4 assassinations, all right, that took place in a period of 5 years under the most suspicious circumstances, and the government and the Department of Justice don't do anything about them. All right. And this is what I believe it eventually led to the combination of the extension of the Vietnam War and to Watergate. All right. And in my opinion, since then, it's essentially been a kind of downward curve since. You know, the Watergate scandal took place over 2 solid years. All right. And so, you know, to restore the trust of the people in the government, I really believe it's almost a lost cause now. I guess I like fighting for lost causes. Okay?
Please keep doing that. Keep doing that. You know what would be an interesting thing for you guys to investigate next? I had a guy on, General Spalding. I don't know if you're familiar with General Spalding or not. General Spalding says one day he's being asked, he's working for the U.S. government. He's being asked, he was a former general of the Air Force, lived in China for a long time. He was there to learn about the systems of China, comes over here, and he's telling him what China's vision is long term. And on one side, McConnell is sitting there. On the other side, Biden's sitting there. Both of them were not happy about his message about China because McConnell's wife, there's lineage goes back to China and the power that his wife has, and then obviously Biden's linked to China as well. Neither one is happy. And then he says, immediately, I got fired right after. They hired me to teach them about China, and then all of a sudden I'm being fired. I think, James, if whatever you choose to investigate next and study, I would be very curious if you would have any interest in studying the swamp and seeing what really goes on within the political world. You know how people say they don't want this to be released. They don't want people to know. Well, the title of the book should be, Who is They? Okay? Let's go figure out who this they community is, the they party, right? Because once we figure out the they people who are protecting all these things from people knowing about it, I think then we can lead to accountability. But I think if you wrote that book, you would need 24/7 protection to make sure you're safe. And I don't know if you want to live that kind of a life.
Probably not.
So with all the craziness taking place, I believe future looks bright. If you believe future looks bright, get your latest Future Looks Bright hat of Valuetainment. It says Future Looks Bright here, Future Looks Bright here. We got them in white, we got them in black, we got them in red. Our black on black sold out. These are about to sell out. If you haven't ordered one yet, we had a person in Michigan, bought one, then he bought 3. Then when those 3 people weren't in the office, they had to order 58 of them. Because people wanted the Future Looks Bright hat, especially during times like this, because ain't nobody saying Future Looks Bright. To order your Future Looks Bright hat, click over here. And to watch the entire podcast, click here. Take care, everybody.